Hello, my sunshine, and welcome to a new episode of the Hot Girl Morning Podcast. I am so excited and so grateful to have you here. In today's episode, I want to share with you a mindset shift, something that has really changed the way I'm looking at life at the moment, the way I'm feeling about life, and I hope that this can be an inspiration to you because these last weeks I felt so at peace and grateful and connected and energetic and excited the way I probably didn't feel all year like this intense. And something changed within me, and I really want to share this with you. And what I also notice is like there's a huge difference between knowing something and, oh, yeah, I heard about this before, versus really living it. So maybe what I'm telling you today is not something that is completely new and completely something that is reinventing the wheel, but this knowledge and your wisdom and the realizations that you have, if you don't live them, they're not going to bring you any impact. So I'm inviting you to be open and to try to really implement these things instead of just, I already know this. Like, I know it. There's, again, the difference between knowing something versus living it. If you don't know, my name is Greta. I'm an accountability and empowerment coach. And on this podcast, we talk about all things personal growth, mindfulness, self-love, manifesting your dreams, and becoming the best version of yourself. So if any of these topics sound interesting to you, make sure to follow this podcast, rate it 5 stars if you really enjoy it, or maybe send it to a friend who might need to hear this today. And first of all, let me just say, I am so grateful to have you here. Like, honestly, I am so grateful to have you here. And here's a little side info from me, from my personal life, because this is gonna be my last episode. Drum roll, please. It's not gonna be my last episode. Like, you're gonna get a new episode every week, but this is gonna be my last episode using this microphone. I have started this podcast in the beginning of 2022, and I was just like, okay, I really feel like doing this. And I tried to create the most simple way I can get started. So I got this microphone for 30 euros secondhand. I think that's probably 38, 39 US dollars, something like that. And the new version would have cost like 70 euros. And I have built a podcast which has over 20,000 followers with this same microphone. And now finally, I have purchased a new one and I'm waiting for it to be delivered. But next week, I'm going to have my new microphone and I'm so excited about it. I have been waiting for this for a really long time. I want this also to be an inspiration to you to realize, okay, you don't need all the fancy equipment and the perfect stuff to get started. You can really just make it so simple and just get started, because I have talked to a lot of people who want to start their podcast and they think, okay, I have to get that like 300 euro mic and I need to get that other thing and the microphone and no, you don't. You just need to get started and see how you're enjoying it, and then things will go from there. I'm so excited to talk to you today. And my first question to you is, how are you feeling right now? So no matter if you're currently like doing some cleaning or working or cooking or going for a walk or just laying on your couch and doing nothing, I want you, as always, that these episodes help you reconnect with yourself and just see yourself and feel seen and heard and feel inspired in a way. So how are you feeling today? What's going on? Like, really just let yourself think about this. And I want you to know that you're safe, you're loved, and you're protected. And no matter if you're having a beautiful day so far or a shitty day, I hope that this episode will help you make your day a tiny bit better, because life is sometimes lifing. And this is something that I tell you a lot, but I recently said it in a call to a friend and he was like, oh, that's such a good, like that sentence just matches you. You need to keep on saying that. So life is sometimes lifing, and that is okay. But here we have a safe space for you to feel seen, for you to feel heard, for you to look inward, for you to be inspired, for you to think about what you actually want, and for you to work on yourself, work on how you see the world, work on what you really want, and listen more to your intuition and to your inner voice and understand what is it that you truly, truly crave in your life. I think what I can see from looking at the last year basically is that there's a difference between living your dream life versus feeling your dream life. And sometimes we wait for all these external things to happen for us to be able to have the feeling that we got there. And let me tell you one thing. It is so easy to run from one goal to the next, never getting to that feeling of, I did it. Like sometimes you're just too fast jumping from one thing to the next. So what I also want to really invite you with this episode is to figure out, okay, what is it that you really want? Like on a feeling basis, like what is the energy? What is the feeling that you want to create in your life? And I also want you to consciously think about, okay, how can I create more of that feeling? How can I create more of that energy? And is there something that I'm currently doing that is not creating that feeling? I actually recently had a coaching session where I got coached, and it really helped me determine like in what ways that I was basically not showing up for myself, and that I was tying my self-worth to some successes or just like external validation, where I realized, okay, I need to stop that. This is not healthy for me. And if I don't do things that are good for my soul and that excite me, how can I expect to live a life where I'm excited about things? Like if I'm just spending time scrolling on my phone, I'm not going to end up being the happiest person on this earth, because that's just not how it works. So the thing that I would like to invite you to do is also think about the things that bring you joy, and is there any way how you can create space for that? And it's not about having a whole day just for yourself. It is really about whenever you take that time, that you take that time for yourself. And I recently saw a reel which was this beautiful black lady talking about the fact, like, some people think it is self-care to get a manicure or to take a bath. And she was basically sharing, like, that's not self-care. It can be, but in most cases that is not self-care. Self-care is where you really feel a ripple effect on your life, where you take time to do some soul work, where you really where it changes how you internally feel about yourself. And I really loved how she said that. So just wanted to make that tiny part of this episode where I share about that, and where I want to invite you to really take that space where you can do your soul work. And what I have realized when I had my coaching session basically is that whenever I had time for myself, with myself, I wasn't spending it on things that really give me that soul beautiful energy, that help me reconnect with myself, that help me create that feeling. And then I would basically just tell to myself, well, it's because life has been stressful, like things that, no. The honest truth about my life is that I haven't been prioritizing these things for myself. And I got lazy with what I was doing, and that needs to change. So maybe you could take something out of that. This is not the mindset shift that I in general want to talk to you about today, but this is just something, a little inspiration, that you need to do things that excite you, because you cannot expect yourself to be happy if you don't do things that make you happy. So is there any way how you can implement more things that make you happy? And now let's move on to the mindset shift. And I remember in school we learned about this, because I went to a school which focused on psychology and philosophy, and basically you were educated to get into the field where you work with people, you become a social worker, teacher, anything like that. And I remember in one class we actually talked about this thing of you putting on a glass, and there's something that changes, for example, when you're in love. When you're in love, all of a sudden you have like these pink glasses on and you see everyone being in love and you're so excited and life feels completely different. And there was just something about realizing that you have the power on the glasses that you want to wear. You have the power on how you want to look at life. And this probably happened to you before, when you really wanted to, I don't know, get a purse, or you wanted to get AirPods, or you have this one car that you really like and that you would like to purchase one day. And since you realize that you want this, you go for your walks or you do whatever you do, and all of a sudden you can see everyone wearing that exact bag that you want. You can see so often that same car brand that you actually want to get. You can see these things. And it's not like they haven't existed before, but it's like you have put your focus on it. So what we're going to talk about today is, what are you focusing on? And there was especially a language shift that happened for me internally these last couple of weeks, which really made a difference. And what I have noticed myself doing is, a lot of the time I told myself, oh, I have to do this, I should do this. Like really this language of I have to. I have to go to the doctor, and I have to make this other doctor's appointment, and I have to still get groceries, and I have to still clean up, and the bathroom looks like a mess, and my closet looks like a mess. Like I have to get to work. And something changed these weeks where I got to the point where, okay, no, I get to. How amazing is it that I have access to a doctor, to someone who learned about medicine and can help me with what I am dealing with? How beautiful and freaking amazing is it that I have access to healthcare? And I'm so sorry to the ones from the US that you don't have that same, but this is something that I feel so privileged. Like I have a hospital that is not that far. So if ever anything would happen, I have access to that. Then thinking about, I have to get groceries. How beautiful is it that I get to have a store which has all the ingredients that I need to be able to make my favorite meal? How amazing is that I have like this one place where I can get my fruit, the fruit that is maybe from very, very far away, which I try to not get as much because #climate change and taking care of the earth. But how amazing is it that I have access to that? How amazing is it that I have a place that I get to clean, that I can call my own together with my partner? Like, how amazing is that? How amazing is that I have a place where I get to look outside and there's a beautiful nature outside? How amazing is it that I get to do this work, a work that I'm passionate about, a work that really fulfills my purpose? And the big shift that I felt was the gratitude coming into my life, because it is not about having to anymore. It is about getting to. I get to do this. How beautiful is that? How freaking amazing is that? Yesterday evening, I went for a long walk. Like, I live by the hill, and there's I have to go quite steep up there to get to a really, really beautiful way where I can walk. And yesterday was actually my grandmother's 1-year anniversary where she died. I don't know how to say that well, or how to properly say that. And how beautiful was that for me, that I got to create that space for her in my life, that I got to feel her energy being up there on the mountain and really seeing the view. And I have this feeling that she created the most beautiful sunset for me, and the way the light looked on the mountains, and the way some birds came really close to me. Like, obviously that was something a year ago that honestly right now it still really hurts, but there is something about looking at life in a different light and choosing to do that. And it reminded me of something. On the day of her funeral, I talked to our pastor, and he basically said that she probably had a really beautiful upbringing because she was such a light and a soul to our community. And little did he know that she actually had to flee from the war together with her father. And while they were fleeing, her father was put into prison for even 3 weeks. And this little 4-year-old girl was completely alone in a different country. And she was separated by her mother and only got to see her not a lot of times in her life again. And she was such a light from like the gratitude, the kindness, the way she carried herself. And it really just reminds me of how we can choose to handle whatever life is throwing at us, and what a privilege it is like to be on that part of the earth, and for us to get to a point where we can choose how we're looking at life. And I know sometimes we're really going through really, really hard things, and I want you to know it is completely, like, it is necessary for you also to feel the pain towards that, and frustration and anger. Like, these emotions, they're all welcome, but to get to the point where you still in a way feel like, okay, I can find a way to look at life and understand, okay, this is happening for me. Like, life is good. I am safe. I have people that love me, and I have so much love to give. And no matter if you have already found the people that you love in your life or you didn't, you have all the possibilities in the world, and you are so capable, and you're so worthy of love. And I think one thing that we really have to learn is to be able to give that love towards ourselves, because I think once you're capable and understand of the love that you deserve, you also start to really stand up for yourself, to be more, and to really be unapologetically yourself. And through that, it is like a filter, and that filter helps you really find the right people into your life that give you so much energy and so much love back. But to sum it all up, I want to invite you to look at life more with the I get to energy instead of I have to. I get to. And I want you to understand that you have all the possibilities in the world. I'm not saying that it's always going to be easy and simple and just a fun train ride. Sometimes life will be hard, and you will be faced with challenges that I have probably never faced before and that are so hard. But you have everything within you to go through this and to become stronger, and to share your wisdom, share your learnings with the world and with the people around you, and be an inspiration to others. I hope that you get to a point where you have the courage to go for whatever you want. And sometimes thinking out about people in my life who passed away helps me to see how precious life is. Like, life is so precious. There was this study done, it was made by someone who worked with people who were on their deathbed, and basically the person who worked on this created a book out of this, and it showed the 5 biggest regrets of dying people. And I think the number 1 regret of dying people was not to be brave enough to follow their own path. Because it's so easy that we listen to what everyone else wants from us, that we don't really do what we want. So take this as an invitation to look inward and understand, okay, what is it that you really, really want? And why are you holding yourself back right now? Because I don't want for you to be the reason that you don't do what you want to do is because you're scared of what your old friends think of you or what your neighbors think. Like, no, thank you. We say no thank you to that. Take a moment to become clear on what you really want. Like, on what you really, really want on a material level, but also on a feeling, energetic level. And then try to go for it. Try to create a plan. Try to really break it down and understand, okay, what are the things that help me get there? And it doesn't have to be complicated. You know how I said in the beginning that I still have my 30-euro microphone? Like, this was not a complicated thing to start. It is just something that I did before I was even ready, and it just happened. So I want you to also think about, okay, what are like some high impact moves, some things I can do that will get me closer, that will really just jumpstart what I'm trying to achieve. And if you feel overwhelmed with all the ideas in your mind, or maybe you have none, and you really have no idea either what you want or how to get there, I would love to be that person who helps you do that. I make that my complete mission. If you want, I have the Supportive Bestie group, which is a WhatsApp group that we have together, where I give you empowerment and support. And every first Thursday of the month, we have a free masterclass together. So this can also be the first supporting point. And besides that, I also offer one-on-one coaching where I really help you get clarity on what you actually want, really connect to your vision, help you uncover what has been holding you back, and I help you break it down so you actually finally take the steps towards your dreams and that you finally get there. Because it has been my absolute pleasure being part of my previous clients' transformations and seeing how they're now living their lives completely different, and how they have, like, some quit their job, created their own business, and are making money out. Like, I want to help you feel that, no matter if it is more about, okay, I want to fall in love with myself and shift my identity and feel a different energy, or if it is more about, like, career-wise, I'm not fulfilled, I want to start doing this, I want to inspire people. No matter what it is, I would love to be there for you and help you. If you're interested, you can DM me on Instagram at greta.webhofer, greta.webhofer, or you can immediately just book a free 30-minute call and we can have a conversation and you can tell me about your life and we can figure out if I'm able to help you. But I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm so proud of you, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.